to Taiwan in Tainan City. And now we are interviewing some Taiwanese people there about the conflict with China. I have prepared many questions and we are asked them today on the street. I prepared and produced the whole thing for Michaelis Productions. Stay tuned and see you in the first interview.
Today, I would like to ask you a question. Some time ago, Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, said that the conflict between Taiwan and China would ease if Taiwan could become a special administrative region of China. What is your opinion on this?
Taiwan is not a part of China. Taiwan is an independent country, and I do not agree with that.
So you disagree with what Elon Musk said. Okay, then I would like to ask you, how do you see the current political situation between Taiwan and China?
I think Taiwan needs to try to go out into the world and act on the international level as much as possible, but also be aware that Taiwan does not run the risk of being annexed by China.
How do you see the current situation between Taiwan and China?
In the current situation, I would think the promises on both sides are the Chinese are somehow getting stronger, and Taiwan's consciousness about its own situation is more of a feeling of needing to defend itself.
How do you see the current political situation between Taiwan and China?
Quite delicate.
Quite delicate. Do you think there is a possibility of fighting?
This man. The man, it's like right now, it's uncertain. And he will fight outside.
So, because things are uncertain inside the country, he has to turn to external conflicts to distract attention. So, currently, Taiwan is in a relatively dangerous situation.
China is provoking us with its actions.
China is being so abusive.
They want to beat you up if they have anything to do with you.
Oh, they want to fight when there is nothing to fight about. I would like to ask for your opinion, given the current relationship between the two sides. How much does this tension affect your daily life?
In general, life is still fine, but sometimes we are influenced by the internet, especially by a few influencers, and then we feel this influence of the conflict much more. It seems to us that the conflict is becoming more dramatic, so we feel threatened.
Do the current relations regarding the Taiwan Strait have any impact on your daily life? In what areas specifically?
More regarding my work, I would say. Things that would be more appropriate, that are more import than export. I will see. Anyway, as far as work is concerned, I pay particular attention to the need to be able to dress comfortably and to show what I wear briefly. All other aspects are okay.
So for you, the current relations regarding the Taiwan Strait mainly affect your work.
A little bit for work, but it will not have a very extreme impact.
Apart from work then, your daily life is currently relatively unaffected by the national crisis.
Only what is said on the news.
Only what is said in the news. To what extent do you think the relationship between Taiwan and China affects your daily life?
It doesn't really have any impact. Business is a little slower and there are fewer tourists. And the pandemic.
So you think the pandemic is okay, but it's mainly causing problems for your business?
It's because of the pandemic that business has gotten so much worse.
You think that has something to do with China?
Yes, I do.
To what extent do you think the current situation of relations across the Taiwan Strait have affected your daily life?
Currently, not very obvious.
I would like to ask, how much you think the current state of relations regarding the Taiwan Strait is affecting your daily life?
To what extent?
Exactly. So, do our current relations and conflicts over the Taiwan Strait have an impact on your daily life?
No.
You don't notice any impact?
Apart from economic intimidation, I wouldn't think that there are any impacts.
How much do you think the relationship between China and Taiwan currently affects your life?
Right now? Not yet. There is no war yet.
There is no war yet, so you don't think it has any impact?
There is no war yet, so there are no impacts.
Okay. In your opinion, how will Taiwan's trade and economic cooperation with China develop in the future?
Taiwan and China must continue to trade with each other. I think that Taiwan should not make itself too dependent on China in the economy, and must trade more independently with countries all over the world to continue to develop in this way.
Because it was made public that our military service will be extended by 1 year, I would like to ask how you feel about this topic.
To which aspects exactly? I just left the service this year, around March. Extending everything might give the people the feeling that they need to defend themselves, the feeling of pre-defense. So, extending the service does not give them the option to say they don't want it. So they don't know why someone would wage war against us, but suddenly everything is so extreme.
So, at the moment, it doesn't matter much. So you're neither for nor against it.
More like that.
Ah, okay. But if you had to serve for a year...
Then I would be somewhat against it.
In your opinion, how important is Taiwan's current situation for the Taiwanese in relation to everything that is currently going on?
There's a lot to consider. So if I had to give a complete answer, it would be difficult.
So would you say that it is important for people in Taiwan to feel Taiwanese?
I believe that everyone should be able to identify with their homeland. After all, it is the place where they were born. Furthermore, there are many things in Taiwan that are internationally recognized. Therefore, everyone should have a sincere understanding of Taiwan, rather than thinking every day about how great things are abroad. We must all come down to earth and believe in the place where we grew up.
So you support Taiwan in terms of having something to say internationally. All right, understood. Lastly, I would like to ask what significance Taiwan's ethnic protection has for the people in Taiwan.
Ethnic protection?
The multi-ethnic system.
That is something for which a lot of sacrifices were made in history. I think nowadays everyone takes it seriously. It's easy to follow. However, if one day the world becomes like the old Shanghai again, if that were to happen, I think...
You think that idea is not completely unfounded?
So if it actually happens, we will realize how regrettable it is to have lost the freedom we think we've lost. It should be something that we cherish here and now, and strive for as best we can.
Then the last question, the cultural and traditional differences between our two sides, Taiwan and China. What role does this difference play in the conflict between the two? So, the difference between our current culture and tradition. What role will it play in the conflict between the two sides?
I think it will establish a platform. Why? Because our culture and theirs are completely different. So if they attack us, we'll be even more free and united. Why? Because their habits are different.
You mean that their attack on us would actually bring us closer together?
Exactly.
I would like to briefly ask how you see the future relationship between Taiwan and China.
Didn't Xi Jinping talk about that? Family on both sides of the strait. The relationship has already become much closer, hasn't it? So we think we'll catch up to them.
So you understand the statement that both sides of the strait are a family to mean that they are increasingly recognizing Taiwan as a country rather than annexing Taiwan. So you think that in the future, the relationship between Taiwan and China will become more like a dialogue between the two countries?
That's right, exactly. And not opposition.
One more question. I want to briefly ask you. Do you believe that there are efforts or methods to solve the current conflict between Taiwan and China?
Taiwan and China? It should be said that it would be sufficient for each to take care of their own country properly. Unnecessary conflicts should not be fought because the common people really don't want that. Rather, everyone should lead a stable life.
So, you hope that China and Taiwan will stop targeting each other to reduce conflicts. Do you believe that there is a specific and effective way to implement this? That is, with regard to what you said, that the two sides should stop targeting each other. Is there a more specific plan or method?
The first thing is to stop intimidating Taiwan.
So you want China to stop intimidating Taiwan?
Right, but that won't do any good. Since we want to live in peace, we should not talk about these intimidating things anymore, and not about our economy either. Honestly, the economy on both sides of the strait will be affected by it.
So you believe that China is currently unilaterally threatening Taiwan and continuing to pressure Taiwan?
Yes.
In your opinion, what solutions are there in Taiwan? Or what efforts to find solutions or actions are there to solve the problem of China's threat to Taiwan?
Some claims have been made on the Taiwanese side. Xi Jinping responded with good intentions. Isn't that a big step forward? What was said on New Year's Day is also a kind of answer, and what was even said is that both sides of the strait are one family.
So, do you think that the conflict between the two sides of the strait can be more effectively resolved if there are good intentions on both sides?
Yes.
Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to visit the Michaelis Productions for more videos.